Hi there. In this video, we are looking at question 6, which is an exam level problem from the November 2024 Maths Paper 1 NSC paper. Okay, so let us begin with the question. Here in the diagram, we are given the graph of f of x, and we also have a straight line, which is g. We're given a point C over here. Let's just highlight that. And it is a point of intersection of F and G. And then we have EH, that straight line, which is parallel to the y-axis. This is key information. And then we have the point E on F and H on G. All right, let us begin with 6.1. So they want us to calculate the coordinates of B, which is the turning point of F. So here we've been given the equation of our parabola. So we can then use the turning point equation to get the x coordinate of our turning point. So that equation is x of your turning point is equals to minus b over 2a. And you can only use this when your parabola formula is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. So for us, we have f of x being equal to negative x squared and plus 4x plus 5 plus 4x plus 5. So we can see that our a is negative 1, we've got a b of 4 and a c of 5. So now we just need to substitute that. So x of our turning point will be negative 4 over negative 1 over there. So that's just negative 4 over negative 2, which gives you an x value of 2. Okay, now that we have the x value of our turning point, we need to find the y value. And we're going to use the equation that we have. So the y of our turning point will be equal to negative, and where there's x, we put 2. That's squared plus 4 times 2 plus 5. And this will then be equal to 9. So this means that the coordinates of our turning point B will be 2 and 9. So we can write this on our diagram. Here we've got 2 and 9. Okay, great. Let us now move on to 6.2, where they ask us to show that the equation of the line through AC is given by this equation. All right, so this is the line we are referring to. So we have point C. We need another point so that we'll be able to calculate the gradient, and then from there get the full straight line equation. Luckily for us, point A over here is an x-intercept of our parabola. So if we can get the intercept of our parabola, we'll then be able to use that intercept at A and then substitute it into the gradient equation. So let us do that. 6.2. So to get your x-intercepts, you need to let y be equal to 0. So x-intercept, so 0 is equals to minus x squared plus 4x plus 5. Now we've got a negative over here, so I like to work with positive coefficients for my x squared, so we're going to divide everything by -1. So that leaves me with now a positive x squared and minus 4x minus 5. Now this is easier to work with. So here we're going to have 0, x, and for us to get a -5 here, we need a 1 and a 5. And then they should both be, 1 should be negative, so 5 should be negative and 1 should be positive, so that we end up with this -4 as our middle term. Okay, so this means that x is either equal to -1 or it will be equal to +5. And looking at the way our parabola is, it appears that -1 will be over there at A, and at D is where we'll have x being 5. So because it's an x-intercept, we now know the coordinates of A are -1 and 0. Now we can use this point and point C to determine the gradient. So the gradient of our straight line will be given by the y of C minus the y of A all over the x of C minus the x of A. So this will be, C had the coordinates 3 and 8. So this will be 8 minus 0 over 3 minus -1. So now end up with 8 over 4, which is just equal to 2. So the gradient of our straight line will be 2. Now the equation of a straight line is y equals to mx plus c. We have this m. Now we can substitute 1 point. And I'm going to substitute point C, which is 3 and 8. Okay, so here y is 8, gradient is 2, x is 3, and we are trying to solve for c. So 8 will be equal to 6 plus c, meaning that c will be equal to +2. So that means the equation of this straight line of gx will be given by 2x plus 2, because 2 is our gradient and also our c value. And that's it for 6.2. And we have proved that that is the equation of g of x. Okay, now moving on to 6.3. We need to calculate the maximum length of EH for f is greater than g. So that means we are focusing on this part of the graphs from there to there, because that is where the graph of f, the y values are greater than the y values of g. Okay, so EH is a vertical line because we know that it's parallel to our y-axis. So to get the equation for EH will be given by, or let's just use it, equal to y of f minus the y value of g. And the y values of f are given by that equation over here, which is minus x squared plus 4x plus 5. And then we subtract the y values of g, which are given by the equation we just solved for the previous question, which is 2x plus 2. So now we can get the full equation of EH, which is minus x squared plus 4x plus 5 minus 2x minus 2. And let's simplify further. So minus x squared. 4 minus 2 is plus 2x. 5 minus 2 is plus 3. Now that is the equation of EH, and we are trying to find the maximum length. So because we have a trinomial, we can get the maximum length using the equation we used in 6.1. So max EH will be at x max, which is what we're trying to find, which will be equal to minus b over 2a. Now in this equation, the b is 2 and the a is still negative 1. So here it will be negative 2 over 2 and negative 1. So this then gives us an x value of 1. And because E of h is a vertical line, and we have developed the equation, we can now just substitute our x value. So therefore, E of h will be negative 1 squared plus 2 multiplied by 1 plus 3, which will be 2 plus 3, that's 5, minus 1, which is 4. So that is the maximum length of E of h when f is greater than g. Yay, we've just finished 6.3. Okay, let us now move on to 6.4. So here we've been given that there's a new function called k of x, which is made up of the x values of x from the function of f if we add m. So that then produces this new equation. And they want us to determine the values of m such that g is a tangent to k. Okay, so we've got a tangent situation going on over here. What you should know about tangents is the tangent and a curve, they have equal gradients and their y values will be equal. So let us use the fact that their y values are equal. 6.4. So this means that our kx, which is equal to f of x plus m, will be equal to g of x, since g will be a tangent. So now let's substitute k of x and also g of x. So k of x is given by negative x squared minus 2mx minus m squared plus 4x plus 4m. Why am I writing 4 twice? Plus 5. And then g of x, we know the equation to be 2x plus 2. Okay, now we just need to try and get everything to be on the same side. So then we'll end up with 0 is equal to x squared plus, and then we've got 2 terms with m, so we can have factor out x and then have 2m minus 2, and then we'll be left with m squared minus 4m minus 3. So you can think of this as some weird looking trinomial. So this part is the invisible one, that would be the a, and then here is our b term, and then this is the constant, which is the c. So if you look at it from that perspective, we can then use our knowledge of quadratic formulas to then try and solve for m using determinants, since it looks like a quadratic. So the equation for the determinant will be b squared minus 4ac. And for us, we said b is 2m minus 2. And then our a is 1. And c is that term I highlighted, which is m squared minus 4m minus 3. Okay, so remember earlier on we said that the tangents and curves, they share the same point, so the x and y value will be the same, and also they'll have the same gradient. So if we're using the determinant, our aim is for us to get the roots that will be equal, meaning that we want the determinant to be equal to 0, because that will allow us to have equal roots. And when you have equal roots, then we'll be able to solve for m. So we're going to equate our determinant to 0. So then we're going to have, so let me write here, determinant is 0 for equal roots. Okay, so now we're going to have 0 is equal to 4m squared minus 8m plus 4. And then this will be accompanied with minus 4m squared plus 16m, and then minus 4 times 3, that's plus 12. Okay, we're starting to see the light. Simplifying this further, we have 0 is equals to, so 4 minus 4, that becomes 0, and then 16 minus 8 is positive 8m, and then 4 plus 12, that's 16. So now we've reached a point where we can actually solve for m, because that's what we're trying to find. So 8m will be equal to 16, dividing both sides by 8. Now we've got m being equal to 2. Negative 2, because this m should be negative there. The 16. Okay, and there we fixed it. And now we have our value of m being equal to negative 2. So now we found the value of m that now allows g to be a tangent to k. So this is a good method to use because it allows you to get the value of m directly. Okay, that's the end of this problem. Bye.